You want to know what really sucks is finding out that your husband, who you're not even filed for divorce from yet, is, and it's been a month since he left your house, and you find out that he's actually going out on a date tonight. We haven't even filed for divorce yet. Is that normal? Do men do that? Like, somebody answer me, men, women, I don't care who it.
I don't know the exact context of the story, but from what I'm seeing, it sounds like he either was dating somebody already previously or he was just so fed up and happy to be out the relationship. I'd really like to know who initiated the divorce because that really matters. It's like if you initiated the divorce and you're crying about him moving on, then I really don't have no sympathy for you. Depending on the circumstances, like if he was a bad guy, he treated you horribly, then maybe possibly then that and that in that juncture, it makes sense for you to have the sentiment. But if you left him and he was just a good man, then that would make sense to why he just decided to just move on and just not really even finalize the divorce. He's in a position where he's like, I'm out of here, peace. Yeah, either that you were that insufferable, or he was just stepping out and already in a situation prior to you guys actually finalizing it. But seems she's pretty distraught and broken up over it. Obviously, man, being in a marriage in a situation and things just ending, it's probably never a good feeling. I've been through a breakup, but never divorce. And my goal is when I get married, I hope that that's something that lasts forever. You can never tell, but my objective would be to for it to be forever.
Is. Somebody just answer the question, is that normal for people to do? Because I downloaded the Stir app, which is for like single parents, and I almost vomited, and I deleted it because
Okay. So now look at I don't feel as bad. So what you're doing is just a contradiction. So you're okay with going on the app, but just because you couldn't digest it, you're mad at him because he was able to follow through with it. Is that the case? So again, if that's what it is, just because you didn't see what you wanted or it wasn't what you anticipated getting on that app, and now you're starting to, I think this is starting to sound like regret to me. It's sounding a little bit more like regret the more she speaks, because you lay it out. He's moving on. He's happy to date, right? Whatever she's seen on that app made her sick. You heard her. She said she was sick to her stomach. So something had to go bad on the app for her to be sick to her stomach. I don't know if it's the quality of men or just how they were approaching her, but a lot of times the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. And women and men need to realize that. I mainly say a lot of women, because you guys are 76% that initiate divorce, so don't take it personal. I'm just going off of data and statistics. If you guys are initiating the divorce and then you're ending up in these predicaments most of the time, it sounds like psychologically there's some things that need to be restructured for you to make a more sound decision. Now, should you be in an abusive relationship with a man? Never that. And this is vice versa for men or women, but we're speaking in context to this situation specifically and how she's seems to be distraught and torn up because he's moving on. And hopefully she finds her peace and she's able to be in a situation where she's not worrying about him. Like if you moved on, and I think if he left her, I could understand she's probably not over it. So that makes sense. So like, yeah, I could see her just like being stuck on a situation and still kind of following on and like stalking him basically. Why do you even know he's on a date? Like, I don't get it. You should know he's on a date. But I mean, I guess if you're close and eventually, I would say if he gets to the point where you have kids together and at some point that person he's dating or she's dating, they're taking it serious, and then you want to actually intertwine that family, then I definitely think it is appropriate to let the parent know, hey, this is who I'm dating, this is what's going on. But prematurely, if you're just going out on a date, you're divorcing, I don't think it's mandatory for you to tell somebody that. So you tell me, what do you think in the comments? I don't think it's mandatory. Like, you decided to divorce, or if you didn't decide to, you have to take whatever the circumstances are and just move on.
like I was nauseous just looking at it. and he's going out on a date tonight. I haven't been out on a date with him in over a year. How do you get over that?
Ah, okay. So what matters is has that past year been turmoil or was it good and then just in the middle of that year? Because if you guys have been feuding, obviously in a marriage you want to try to do things to correct the situation and resolve it. But if you guys were feuding to the point where you weren't even in a good enough standing to even go on a date, then I could understand that. I could see why you're not going on a date. So, but for her, maybe that was a possible reason, like, he wasn't taking her out on dates enough and they weren't active enough, but then a lot of times if it went from being, like, you guys are in love, catering to each other, and then it just something happens, it's something on either end of the spectrum, so it's just, like, trying to take the context clues from what she's saying and get a better idea, but I think ultimately, it really sounds like she may have left and is regretting it because things went sour for whatever reason, but she's like, "How do you get over it?"
That's painful.
Man, well, hopefully, you figure it out and you find peace at mind and you're able to get somebody who makes you feel excited to be able to go on a date. But let this be a warning to y'all that it's not what you think out there. The streets are treacherous. So be ready for what comes with it if you want to leave your situation. It's better to just work on something if it's salvageable. And like again, I'm not telling you to be in a situation where either are at danger of your mental health, physical health, or like I said, if you're not creating a healthy environment for kids, if you do have kids, or yourselves, it should be work, but I also think there should be like certain tolerances that you could take in a relationship.
Sitting outside of my church right now crying because I don't wanna go in because this is so sad, but I'm whatever. Because when you go through divorce, you have to do everything alone, like, all the time, and it sucks. It does. This is part of it. I've been divorced. Like, I haven't been with my husband for, like, a year and a half, but, like and I haven't been, like, in any relationships. But, like, having to go through this stage, it's really hard. It's so hard because like, you see your, like, friends and family and everybody's, like, married and has kids. You're like, you know, starting back over. It's really hard. And it's weird. You don't like miss them as a person, but you just like miss having like somebody there, you know? Anyways, I haven't made a video like this in a while, but I feel like this is like real shit that you feel like when you go through a divorce. Like you once had it and now like you don't, and it sucks. But it's okay because I'm literally this is just a stage. I literally called my best friend this morning to like help me get
So before we dive too deep in it, or let her actually dive too deep in it, it's like better understanding the situation. So you got divorced. She seems like she says she didn't miss him, but she misses the situation, like her having somebody there, of which is understandable. A lot of times we get accustomed to a routine. You rely on that person, you get that dependency, and then for them to just be snatched out of your life randomly, I could see it being hard to cope, especially a divorce. Thinking that you're going into this relationship and this union with God to eventually be together forever, you know, through sickness or health or, for better or worse. And it ends up in a situation where you're crying in front of church because it didn't work out. And I feel for her, but again, we're gonna have to go back to it. We're just making assumptions statistically because we don't have the context. Is did she initiate the divorce? There's a 76% chance she did. So we're gonna go with that, right? And if that's the case, then what were the circumstances of the relationship? All right. And the reason why I'm okay, let's get into this. No fault divorce. I think it's been one of the worst possible things, and family court laws need to be updated. It's never in the favor, even if, say, for example, the woman is the breadwinner, they get screwed too. So I think as society has advanced, women are in a position where they have so many more opportunities. A lot of women are earning. I've seen in relationships where a lot of women are the breadwinner, and they're pushing the man to be more ambitious. So we're not in the same time. So if we're not going to restructure family court laws, not only that, and I would think it's better for you to just look at a prenup. If you're going to have somebody write a contract for you, it's better you do it on your own terms while you guys are still on good terms, because the person you marry is not the person you divorce.
through my divorce. And she's like, no, this is like so normal. Like there are times she did things for herself and it just sucks. Like, and you just cry. Like, I'm literally just sitting outside of church, like just looking at the building. But I'm just like, I just today I can't. Like, it's just hard today. So this is so vulnerable. And I don't post stuff like this anymore, but I just like it's just so relatable. So that's why I'm videoing myself, because I'm gonna tell myself that this is normal. And it's gonna be okay. And hopefully I get to look back at this one day and be like, oh my God, it didn't last that long. It's fine.
And you will. You will get past it. It takes time to heal. And like I said, hopefully she gets to a point where she has her peace of mind. But you let me know, do you think she initiated the divorce? Or is it something that the man did that was actually justifiable for her to leave the relationship? Um, Let me know how you feel. Turn on post notifications. Subscribe if you haven't. We're going to keep them coming, dropping daily videos. Thank you for your time. We out of here. Peace.